Hello everybody, this is Cap Coldblood and welcome back to our first impression series. Now, before I get into the video, I actually want to say this is a new camera, this is a new angle that I'm trying out here. This is more of me and less of my background. If you prefer the old style or like this new one over it, go ahead and comment below and tell me what you think, and I'll do my best to do what feels right for you guys. So, for those of you new to the channel, First Impressions is where I take a game, play it for an hour, just about. I sit down afterwards and I actually talk about my first impressions on it and whether or not I feel good or bad about the game. And before we actually get into reviewing this game in question, which is LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, let's take a step back. Back to when I was 7 years old. My friend Jacob, good friend Jacob, brought over LEGO Star Wars, the video game. Now, this was the first time I'd heard about this Star Wars. So he and I sat down, we played for about an hour and a half, but what we did was, we did about half of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Now, if you've played that game like I've played that game, you very fondly remember the first mission you play in that entire movie is the space battle over Coruscant, and that had me hooked. I was really excited. We were having a ton of fun. Me and my friend would purposefully crash into stuff just to hear the Wilhelm scream as your fighter flew off into the distance and exploded. And then, of course, we played Rescuing the Chancellor. In the next mission, I played as Anakin Skywalker and absolutely loved chopping up robots with my blue laser sword, as I was 7 at the time. Over time, I went to play LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, my favorite game in the series, and really it cemented my love for Star Wars. I played both those games, subsequently went out, got the movies, watched them all ever since I was 9, and I've been a die-hard Star Wars fan ever since. So, walking into LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, I was a bit skeptical. I'd played LEGO Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, I'd played a couple of other LEGO games like LEGO Marvel, just a little bit in that game, and really it seemed overly complex, especially watching as LEGO Lord of the Rings and LEGO The Hobbit took over, and they started adding voice acting. I was really skeptical about it at that point. However, once I booted up LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens, I got this huge wash of nostalgia and just really loved the opening screen. It paid homage to the original games, whereas it brought in all this new and exciting stuff, especially with all the Resistance music. And Star Wars music has always been a big part of it for hopefully most of us, and they really delivered on that department. So the prologue of the game, which is what I was able to play through because I got too impatient, I literally started playing as soon as it was ready. I played the prologue, which is the Battle of Endor. Now, if you remember in Episode 6 in the Complete Saga game, or the original trilogy, the Battle of Endor was split into several missions. Well, in this one, it's condensed to about a half-hour-long prologue, and that's with me breaking everything. And I mean everything. So I ran around as Han Solo and Chewie and Leia on Endor. I really enjoyed the whole ATST segment in that. Then you move on to, after destroying the shield generator, you move on to fighting as Luke and Darth Vader, awesome part, fighting the Emperor, and you actually manage to take him down, and it's comical, it's nice and LEGO style. Luke and Vader have their own lightsaber styles, and Vader has his own way of using the Force. If you remember in the original games, Jedi would simply Force push characters and they'd eventually break, and then Vader could Force choke. Well, in this one, Vader Force chokes and you throw them into other objects. So it's nice, dynamic. The lightsaber throw, which is one of my favorite features in the newer games, is back as well. So you eventually fight Palpatine, you take him down. It's nice and funny and yet serious at the same time. And on a side note, I really enjoy that they got the new Darth Vader actor from The Force Unleashed and the new Star Wars Battlefront games. I cannot remember his name at this point, but you know who I'm talking about, the really good Darth Vader voice actor from all those games. I'm glad that he makes a reappearance here and takes over the work from James Earl Jones. Even though he'll never be surpassed, I still really enjoy that they got top quality actors for this. Then, after you defeat the Emperors, Luke and Vader, you move on to probably my favorite segment of them all, where you fly the Millennium Falcon and Wedge Antilles X-Wing directly into the heart of the second Death Star. Now, this entire segment here takes less than 5 minutes, but it was so satisfying. They got all of the sounds right, the TIE fighter streaking in, the Executor crashing into the Death Star as you fly into the core, you going down the tubes, blasting TIE fighters, and then finally blowing up the Death Star's core itself. A little disappointed you didn't get to fly straight out of the Death Star, like have a little maze you got to fly through to get out of there before it exploded, but yeah, I understand all the same. So my first impressions of the actual game after we've covered the synopsis of it all. First off, I want to say the voice acting is amazing. It was ripped straight from the original films, the right choice in my opinion. Han, Leia, Chewie, all those different voice lines. Like I said, they redubbed some of the characters. The Emperor's original, Vader is not, but I understand that. It's really, really well done when, no matter how they do it, pretty much. If they had new voice acting or old voice acting, it's really well implemented, and it feels like a retelling of Episode 6. It really feels incredible. Also, gameplay-wise, it feels very solid. There's a way to fire your blaster without hitting things. There's a new execution combos, as I call them, that you can do next to characters. You just press B on the Xbox controller, and your character does a really cool execution attack. One of them, Han, floated like 2 meters above the ground and just rained death from above with his DL-44. Just really, really cool stuff. If I haven't seen it yet, I assume it's in the game, but I'm really disappointed. I played as Chewbacca for about 2 minutes and didn't rip anybody's arms off. If that's in the game, comment below and let me know that I'm really missing out on that. But the whole aspect of the gameplay, vehicle gameplay, flying around, it's very, very solid. I enjoy it very much. Everything is not overly complicated. There are new features, but not too many. There's certain characters needed. That's one of the things about the original games that I didn't very much like, is that there are a million blaster characters and you never had to use them all. Well, now it's like you have to use certain ones. Chewbacca for his strength, Han Solo for his sharpshooting, Wicket for his size. I love having Wicket in the game, one of my favorite characters from the first one, because my friends and I would throw dirt balls at each other for about 2 hours before we decided to do something. I really enjoy the graphic style. Now, of course, it's Lego, but I really enjoy the look of the minifigures. Darth Vader's minifigure, Han Solo's minifigure, R2-D2 and 3PO are significantly boosted up in this. I have little Lego minifigures that are actually in the original game. And they are kind of bland in the first games, but now they're like actually chromed up, and Han Solo's DL-44 is chromed up. It's got a special design on it. Vader and Luke have special lightsaber styles and things that they do. The facial movements are much better than they used to be, and like I said before, the voice acting is a very welcome addition in my opinion, now that I've actually played a game with it and I've seen it. I'd say it takes away with a little bit of the creativity, but I think it's worth it for the authenticity of the voice acting, as long as it stays pretty authentic. So I am personally, and level design also is very, very nicely done. Endor is still beautiful. Scout troopers and stormtroopers running around with AT-STs, which could be a little bit better designed, but that's just my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, I have not played anywhere beyond the prologue of the game, and of course I love Empire stuff, and the fight above Endor and on Endor is one of my favorite battles in Star Wars. So really, I feel like I'm giving it a bit too good of an impression. It started you off really, really strong. The authentic music is another thing. I just sang with the music just hummed the music the whole time I was playing the game because I knew every note. And it puts a smile on my face to play a classic feeling Lego game and yet all this new stuff. I can't wait to get to the flight segments. I can't wait to play as Finn and Rey, and especially BB-8. BB-8's gonna be fun. I want to see if I can make him roll around the map, and if I can, that's all I'll be doing. I'm just really excited for this game, and also I was able to buy all of the DLC. I bought the Ultimate Edition for $30. It was really, I feel like personally, at least if the game continues to be this good, it was a good purchase. And as long as the game is good in length, and that's just something I'm a little worried about. This is The Force Awakens with a few side missions. This better be a good length, I swear. There better not be like 6 half-hour levels and I'm done. I heard it's about an 8 to 9 hour campaign. I really hope it is, because free play is where the fun is, but still, I hope there's tons of bonus stuff locked away. I hope they really didn't rush this game out, and with all this DLC with the Clone Wars packs, and the prequels packs, and Jabba's group packs, all these extra characters that I'm getting, I really hope are enjoyable. So to wrap it up, really, my hopes for this game are insanely high. I am going to love this like I did when I was a kid. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to feel like a child again with the Xbox controller instead of a PlayStation controller, and just everlastingly blast my way through First Order stormtroopers and just really, really enjoy all the quirky little fun things in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you later.